Hey everyone, Brian Tro coming to you from Mossy Creek Fly Fishing with your fly fishing forecast. The date for today is Monday, the 18th of March. A couple quick notes on some activities and events coming up since it is spring and we have a lot going on. Tomorrow night, so Tuesday night, here in Harrisonburg at Court Square Theater, which is just a few blocks from the shop here, right downtown. Awesome theater. We will be hosting the Fly Fishing Film Tour, F3T Tour. For those of you who've been to it before, it's a lot of fun. We have great door prizes, giveaways. The movie runs about, it's a bunch of short clips, runs about 2 hours. Doors will be open around 6:30. You can buy tickets online. They're $20. You can buy them at F3T's website. You can also buy them at the door when you get there. All the proceeds tomorrow night will go to our local chapter of Massanutten, chapter of Trout Unlimited, to help support all the great work that they do on our local cold water fisheries. So that'll be tomorrow night, Tuesday night. And then in April, mark your calendars for our annual open house. All right. We've been doing it for 21 years, and that will be on Saturday, April 20th. Lots and lots of barbecue that I cook, lots of giveaways. It's an awesome day. So anyway, those are just kind of quick housekeeping notes. Onto the fishing. It's March. Things get a little wild. We've had 70-degree days. Today it's like 48 degrees. We had really hot week last week, and we had some pretty high water. Now we're really entering into a cooler week, which is not unusual. It's going to be in the 20s almost every night this week. So time to ride that roller coaster up and down, and the fishing will ride that as well. So looks like first chance of rain this week is later in the week, like maybe Friday. So it's gonna be pretty. But one thing I wanted to talk today about is the wind. All right, March comes roaring in like a lion. It's already proven to be true. Not this past weekend, the one before, we had 40 and 50-mile-an-hour gusts. Really, really watch the wind when you're planning on coming up to the mountains to fish 2, 3, 4 days out. Don't just look at, oh, it's going to be 60 and sunny, there's no rain. Watch for that wind because it can be challenging. So a few things that I like to do if it's going to be a little bit windier is I might go and choose a brook trout stream just so I can get back in the woods, be sheltered quite a bit from the wind. Places like Mossy Creek that flow like right through fields, there is nothing to shelter you from the wind. You just get beat on. All right. Maybe step up one weight if you have the ability to with your fly rod. So, if you're going to go out to one of the larger streams like the South River and you love your 4 weight, all right, but it's going to be windy, maybe size up to a 5 weight or even a 6 weight if you need to. And then when it comes to casting, I always tell people when you're using your thumb on the fly rod and the wind's blowing straight at your face, instead of stopping and hammering the wall with your thumb, you want to hammer the floor. You want to push down with that thumb, okay, and try and punch that fly line into the wind. Keep your loop tight, keep a low profile. It's not about power, okay? It's about keeping your loop tight and having good line speed. That's how you beat the wind here in March, okay? So also with these temperatures up and down, the fishing's gonna be up and down, especially from the mornings to the afternoons. If it's gonna be 25 degrees here at night in Harrisonburg, and you're gonna be fishing up at 2,000 feet in the GW, it's probably going to be 20 degrees or 19 degrees, okay? So plan on that when you're heading up there. You could have a little bit longer to get above freezing, and the fishing could be slower in the morning. So still in that transition time of year, nymphs and dries, everybody wants to fish a dry fly. We've had some good days. We've had some good hours of dry fly fishing here and there. But you need to load up on nymphs still and be fishing subsurface, especially on those cooler days. So mountain brook trout streams are in great shape. Last week they were pretty big. So there were some spots that were a little sketchy to cross and move around in from the rains from the prior week, but all that stuff's coming down now, and you should find really, really ideal water flows through the majority of the western part of the state. Warming temperatures in the afternoons. I haven't seen a lot of big mayflies, particularly over in the Alleghenies. That's where I've been fishing. But there's been caddis flying around and lots of those little black stone flies, okay? And remember, even though you see those guys landing on your sleeve and whatnot, stoneflies crawl out of the creek. And so they just don't eat the adult, the dry very often. All right, you're going to do much better fishing a little black stone nymph when those guys are starting to emerge and swim out of the water. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the mountains. We've got a cooler week that could slow down the emergence of some more of these quills that we've been talking about, the quill gordons that like to pop, through March, and your blue duns and red quills. So be on the lookout for those on maybe the warmer days, but I think that some cooler water temperatures could slow that down, all right? It's all going to happen anyway. It's just a matter of pushing it back a little bit, all right? So we don't miss hatches, we just delay them. You're going to get to fish plenty of dry flies. Don't go down with the ship, all right? Try your nymph if it's just not happening. Moving down the hill a little bit into the valley floor, the delayed harvest streams are fishing really well. Almost all of them have gotten like a second stocking. Some are about to get a third stocking. Speaking of stockings, the state has been really busy. I saw Hidden Valley got stocked. A lot of the put and take waters around the valley have gotten stocked. Hone Quarry Run's got stocked. And well, you can go on the website and see it. They update it every single day. But get out there and enjoy some of the larger freestone streams. Some of our delayed harvest waters, places where you got a little more space to cast and a little more space to move. It's kind of a nice change from being up on the teeny tiny brook trout streams up in the mountains. Enjoy them because a lot of those are going to get too low, too warm, or open up for harvest once June hits. So get out there and enjoy them. So moving on to the spring creeks, Buffalo Creek, Mossy Creek, Beaver Creek, spring influence streams, Smith Creek, South River. All these places are fishing really well. You're going to find water temperatures that are several degrees warmer, in some cases even maybe 10 degrees warmer than the mountain streams. So that leads the metabolism to be much higher in these fish. However, spring creek fish are choosier, all right? So it's kind of a trade-off. Their metabolism's up, but if they don't want to eat, they don't have to eat. So a little bit more selective down here in the spring creeks. Barometer plays a big role in that. So today, northwest winds, bluebird sky, big cold front went through. Tough day on the spring creeks. It'll be tough. Not impossible, but I like to tell people, it's sort of like you look up in a field and you see cows sitting in the field. Some days there's 100 cattle in the field and all 100 of them are up and grazing and eating. And some days you go by and only 10 of them are, okay? These cold front days on spring creeks are like that, okay? A certain percentage of the fish will eat. The other ones are not going to go out of their way to eat. That means you have to cover more water, all right? Move faster, hit more spots, maybe streamer fish to be able to get that fly in front of a lot more fish. And you're looking for that 1%, 5% of the fish that are still hungry, didn't gorge right ahead of the front on Saturday when it was so nice, and are ready for a little bite as long as it's presented well and they don't have to work too hard. Okay, so that's the name of the game for fishing these fronts. All right, just be careful out there at Mossy Creek. I watch people all the time standing up 8-foot banks. They're standing up real high. They're fishing 20 feet downstream, and all those fish are just looking right at them. Keep a low profile when the skies are bluebird and the water is clear. All right. Shenandoah River and James Rivers, all of our bigger rivers in the state have come down to more manageable levels. We've been out on them, fishing a little bit. It's still a little chilly. Water temps are a little chilly. Catching some fish here and there. You'll see my brother posting some pictures of some nice bass, but having to work a good bit of the day and then finding them in very specific tight pockets, okay? Once you find one, there's usually 8, 9, 10 fish really close to that fish, so you want to kind of squat on that spot, work that area really, really well. But there's going to be a lot more updates coming on the smallmouth over the next 2 to 3 weeks. A lot of things will start to happen. On the flip side, the musky you're going to start having fish pairing up, and we're going to stop fishing for them shortly here because April is their month to spawn, and once they start doing that, they don't want anything to do with your fly. They're hard to find. Doesn't really make sense to fish for them, so we're going to put the musky rods away and check back in on those in May. All right, I know that's a lot going on, but we got a lot going on here at the store. Shop is bumping. We've got tons of new product. Everything's really well here. I hope you guys can come by and get a chance to see us. If you want to fish new spots, we'll break out the DeLorme Atlas Topo, and we will draw on yours for you. We'll make sure that you guys have some really good spots to fish. There's still plenty of spots in this area that your cell phone and things don't work. So we make sure that when you're going back blue lining that you know where to park and know where you're going. Stop by and see us. Thanks.